Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel, and thanks for logging on. If you like these videos, do me a favor and subscribe to our YouTube channel right here at Watchbox Reviews. I'd appreciate it, and I promise to update daily. If you like this watch, you can purchase it on thewatchbox.com. Buy, trade, and sell luxury watches on thewatchbox.com. And today we're discussing the 2015 edition, the first rendition of the Omega Seamaster Aqua Terra 150-meter Golf. Of course, Masters green and a combination of black dial and steel case. This is a versatile watch with a little bit of color, a little bit of character, a nod and a wink to the sport of golf, but not an overbearing co-branded or themed appearance. This is a versatile look and a versatile model. So 41.5 millimeters across the broad of the case from 9 to 3. That's not including the crown, and this being the pre-2017 model, it does have the shear guards built in. You can also see that the case itself is reasonably slim in profile, this not being one of the rotating bezel Seamasters. It's 13 millimeters thick with a generous slope to that bezel, so you will be able to fit it underneath a cuff and not just a master's jacket cuff, the dress sleeve beneath. A lug to lug, it's got a broad stance, and you can see that it's a very manageable 48.5 millimeters across my wrist. I might even get a little bit closer to show it to better advantage, but you can see that any wrist that's smaller by male standards, which I define as about 14 to 16.5 centimeters circumference, you want to keep the actual lugs of your watch 50 millimeters or less across the wrist, and this one achieves that on my 16 centimeter circumference wrist. You can see that it's 48.5 lug to lug, 50.3 if you add the solid and links the bracelet, and the spacing of the lugs if you wish to accessorize, for instance, throw it on an Omega rubber strap or even leather to dress it up, it's 20 millimeters, and you'll have a bevy of OEM and aftermarket options in that size. Back off a little bit, take the bracelet off the wrist. It is a very satisfying bracelet, comfortable and handsome. It's also remarkably sturdy, clearly inspired by the 3-link Rolex Oyster. It manages to be a little slimmer in profile, and because longitudinally the links are actually a bit shorter, it is silkier than Rolexes Bracelet, while giving up relatively little in terms of substance and security. It feels massive. It feels like a sports watch bracelet, even as it's more of a dress watch profile. Slim on the side, removable links fixed by screws, polished on the flanks, polished down the center, satin on the sides, with an asymmetrical, large center look that breaks up the mass of metal. Now, the clasp, like the bracelet, is designed less for hardcore sports and more for confidence-inspiring security and resistance to desk diving scuffs. By sacrificing some of the Seamaster dive features, the Aqua Terra is far less susceptible to disfigurement of the clasp as you bring your wrist in and out across your keyboard. The twin trigger release means that it's still firm and secure when closed. You'll note that the underside of the bracelet, with large gaps between the individual links, will aerate the wrist on a hot day, as well as avoid pinching skin or pulling hair. The case is familiar to anyone who knows Omega, with the beveled and polished portions contrasting with the sheer satin finished portions. We can get close now, bring everything into focus as we want to bring out the details of the case. It's simple but sturdy and handsome. The dial itself is a combination of color and texture. So the color is green for the most part, and you can see it in the stepped minutes and seconds track outboard of the hours. The Arabic 30, 35, 40 showing you every 5 minutes there is a green Arabic numeral for seconds and minutes. There's the shock of green at 12 o'clock just beneath the applied Omega logo and marquee, and then the lacquered green counterweighted seconds hand, which does have its own luminescent index, by the way. There will be a lume shot at the end of this video, and it will be superb. Texture and change of plane comes in the form of the teak deck concept, which is Omega's way of telling us that they created a vertical striation to the dial. The Aqua Terra has always been something like Omega's equivalent of the Rolex Yachtmaster. It's a aquatic watch that's equally at home atop the waves as within or beneath them. Now, that teak deck concept pre-2017 is vertically striated and symmetrical, and you can see how it creates definition top to bottom. You'll also note that all of the indices are polished and applied, so this is an upscale dial aesthetic, and it's most evident from this angle, but you can see how the center dial is stepped up from the minutes and seconds track outboard. You also note that a trapezoidal and minimalist date window at 3 o'clock, because this is the pre-2017, rather nicely counterbalances the index at 9. At 3 o'clock, this is another pre-2017 trait. You actually have considerably more shoulder about the crown, almost like a crown guard, without the actual shouldered crown guard structure. And when withdrawn, you can see that the caliber 8500 features a hacking or stop seconds functionality. If you were to put it in its intermediate position, you have that time zone function that allows you to jump time zones, forward or backwards, driving the date in either direction across the international date line without actually stopping the movement, so you don't interrupt the chronometric precision of the watch as you're making that adjustment. Now turn everything over, and you can see the Omega Caliber 8500. The crown, I should also note, is a tactile pleasure to use. It is probably the strongest stem tube and stem assembly I've ever encountered. There is no wobble, there is no play. That's surprising on any watch, especially when you consider that many $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 sports watches feel feeble in the hand, and this feels redoubtable. Twin barrels, 60-hour power reserve, COSC certified Swiss chronometer, bidirectional winding, so there's very little rattle or wobble about this winding system. Free sprung balance with a full balance bridge for toughness, that is shock resistance, and the SI14 amagnetic silicon hairspring for anti-magnetism. 150 meters water resistant all up, beats away at 25,200 vibrations per hour, which is a beat rate specific to Omega's coaxial system, which is a series of tangential contact escape surfaces on a spindle, and they're all coaxial with each other, hence the name. It helps to improve short-term timing stability for this certified chronometer, but also reduces long-term wear, tear, and maintenance requirements. Impressively, everything from the stones to the shock protection to the lubricants themselves, manufactured within the Swatch Group family of companies. This is a truly vertically integrated manufacturer. Even the finishing, though machine applied, is distinctive of the 8500s and the 8900s, as it features a spiral Côte de Genève arabesque across bridges and rotor, and black oxidized rather than polished or blued screws. A gorgeous and versatile watch. If you like golf, that's a bonus. If you don't, this watch still wears a treat on any wrist. Handsome and versatile, it's the do-it-all Seamaster. See this Seamaster and make it yours on the Watchbox. And I am back with the Omega Seamaster Aqua Terra Golf Edition. As you can see, black, green, and silver of steel by day, but beautifully blue by night. See it by the light of day with boxes, papers, and accessories on the Watchbox.